First of all, he came from far away, from Poznan. And he came especially for this show, which is awesome that he came here to speak just to you. And what I can tell about him, he's really a professional speaker. He is Polish champion in public speaking and Central and Eastern European champion in public speaking. And now his goal for this year is to become what another speaker today already became, world champion of public speaking. Yes. And he will have an inspirational speech just in a moment, and I ask you kindly to give him the biggest applause you can possibly give. So please be ready for Maciej Baranowski with his speech, Maverick.
There is one word in the Northern American English. It's Maverick. Does anybody know what this word actually means? Anybody? Agnieszka, you're the first. What is that? Yeah.
That you are independent with your choices.
That is right. The word symbolizes somebody who is actually independent when it comes to life choices and following his own path. For me, this word has a very special meaning. When I was a kid, I loved watching Top Gun. Have you known that movie? Anybody has watched? That's right. Tom Cruise, yeah. The aviator, the pilot, scooping down the planes, being the master of his craft. But also, he doesn't care that much what other people think. And believe me or not, for many of people, the movie may be cheesy, maybe a typical pop culture movie, but for me, Maverick is telling us a message I always wanted to hear. When I was a little boy, not a long time ago, I always felt a bit different. My friends at school loved playing football, and I really admired them. They were so good, dribbling on the pitch, scoring the goals, being confident. I tried as well, but I wasn't even that good in half of their skills. My passion was a bit different. I loved dancing, ballroom dancing to be specific. And I was sneaking out the gym class to dance with my beautiful partner, Agnieszka. Cha-cha, samba, rumba, jive. That was my passion. But when somebody at school asked me, Maciej, what do you like to do? Football. Of course, football. Yeah, football. Did you watch the game? Of course I watched the game. Who played? I never felt the part of the group. Being different than the other boys at school made me feel very misunderstood. I didn't really know why I prefer dancing, not football. What is wrong with me? But I kept dancing to the beats of my own drums. Up until the age of 23. When I found myself working for the American corporation, I was always admiring those bosses, in suits, flashy cars, grandiose mansions. vacations abroad. And I was looking up to my boss as a overachiever, high flyer, a person of a real success. So I also worked in the huge company. But once again, I noticed that the values I see, this kind of job, doing business, working all those hours, wasn't really something I wanted to do in my life. I didn't feel as a part of the group. Once again, I felt a little bit awkward, strange, like a misfit, outcast. And I decided to dance to the beats of my own drums and leave the company. When you're trying to learn who you are, very often you go to the place of your hometown to meet with your parents, ask them some questions. And the image I will always remember is the image of my beautiful sister, Marta, and her little daughter, and great, caring husband. I am so proud of her. Every single time her little daughter is entering the room, sitting on my mother's lap, I can see my mother is the happiest person in the world. And I ask myself, why am I single? I would like to be like my sister, that happy. After the Christmas dinner this year, one person visited our home. My Aunt Kate, who immigrated to the USA. Do you have this specific aunt who doesn't really care what other people think? Anybody? Nope? Some of you have, yeah. She's a very interesting person who usually always follows her own path. She gets drunk, tells some jokes, usually inappropriate, and she's just herself. She took a look at me and told, I see there's something going on in your life. You don't seem happy, Maciej. Let's have a talk. And we went for a walk with my auntie. And she told me, tell me, what is going on? And I told her my life story. About school, about work, about my relations with family, how I feel, about being different, following different path, feeling like a misfit in those areas. And she told me, what was your favorite movie as a kid? I got many movies. The one you always watched, admiring the main character. My parents' wedding. Maciej, the second one. Maverick. That's right. Maverick. In the US, we have this special expression for a person who always follows his own way. It's even a name given to female and male. Maverick. Following your own path. What would you like your parents to tell you, Maciej? What would you like to hear from them? And it was the moment that really hit me. I took a look at her and told, you look like Tom Cruise. Are you sure, Maciej? And then I said, you know what? Frankly speaking, I always wanted to hear from my parents, Maciej, it's okay to be different. It's okay to follow your own path. And then she took a look at me and told, it's all fine. So be the maverick and follow your own path. Took a different approach to your life. Embrace who you really are. So I did. I got back to dancing. And I danced again. And I don't really, I'm not really afraid what others think. I've always danced. Has been my biggest passion. But of course, I also watch football. Sometimes. As well. I started my own business because I wanted to do something my way. And I have a new boss now. The one who doesn't want me to get up early. Myself. And finally, I realized that I'm always happy for my sister, for my family, and I will always support her beautiful kids, little Lena. But as the uncle, one of the first thing I will tell her when she will be mature enough to understand will be, remember, it's okay to be different. So if you have ever felt like this Maverick yourself in your life, maybe you know somebody among your friends, co-workers, family members, sisters, brothers, cousins, who is a Maverick, who is different in any possible way. The words I've always wanted to hear are, it's okay to be different. It's all fine to follow your own path. So if anybody has ever told you so, I am telling it right now. Embrace yourself. It's okay to be Maverick. It's okay to be different. Over to you.